Targum Ruth, Ruth 1:6, the third part. In this video, just want to spend a few moments talking about this interesting addition here. This idea that the news about the lifting of the famine comes to Naomi via an angel. And here we have someone in a field hearing from an angel. That's reminiscent, of course, about the angelic encounter with the shepherds hearing the announcement of Jesus' birth in the New Testament, actually. But here we're going to talk about Jewish midrashic tradition. So we remember Targum Ruth is in late Jewish literary Aramaic. Now, the midrash, Perush Lekach Tov, in the 1100s on the Torah and the Megillot by Tovia ben Eliezer, is written in medieval Hebrew about the Hebrew text. So it's not commenting on Targum Ruth, but it's interesting how 1,000 years ago this midrash views this episode. So we turn to the page for Ruth 1:6. Here it is, and this is the introduction to that verse. And we're particularly concerned with what we see in blue. Here we have, "For she heard in the fields of Moab." And it's fields, again, because we're dealing with the Hebrew, not Targum Ruth. "From where she heard it from the merchants." Now that's interesting. It's merchants, not the angel, who are returning in the towns. That is, and then look at this, "in the Holy Spirit." She heard, and what did she hear? That the Lord visited his people. So very interesting, even though, of course, it's through the human agency of merchants, which are not mentioned in the Hebrew text, but this is tradition here. It's actually the Holy Spirit that reveals to Naomi about the lifting of the famine. So very interesting about the additions made, midrashically speaking, and of course in Targum Ruth, to the Hebrew text. So let's return to Targum Ruth and continue our reading.